Coucou tout le monde, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to talk about the differences within the French and American universities. To go somewhere new. So the first big difference literally is how everything is bigger in the United States and campuses, universities are so much bigger than usually French ones. And the reason why I think is just because in France usually you have different campuses for different specific majors. So there will be a campus just for nurses, there will be a campus, just for criminal justice, there will be a campus just for art and stuff like that. But in the United States, on the same campus, you can find so many different majors, but they were all on the same campus. You will have just different buildings. So you on the same campus, you will have like a psychology building, social work building, a criminal justice building, where in France it will be completely different campuses. So then when you go to an American campus, since there is so many different buildings, so many different majors, campuses are a lot bigger. So number two is the fact that in the US you can create your own schedule. So basically in the US and American universities you can create your own schedule. You can choose if you want classes only in the mornings or in the afternoon or only on Monday, Wednesday and Fridays. You can choose what teacher, you can choose what semester, because sometimes you're like, oh, I want to take that class, but I will take it next semester, I don't need it right now. But in France, you're not as free like that. Usually they will set a schedule for you and you really can't change it. But in the US, you're so free about it, which I loved, and you can really create whatever you want. And I think part of it is probably because in the US you have to pay for university and it's really expensive, so many students work. So it's easier if you can create your own schedule, because if you work to pay for school, then you have to put your classes around work. But in France, it's really rare, like people don't usually work when they go to universities because we don't pay very much for them, like basically they're free. So people don't work, like most of my friends didn't work while they were in the university, so they have, like they had free time all the time, so so the schedule is already created for them because they don't have to other big responsibilities, I guess. They don't have to work or anything. So another big difference between American and French universities is the grading system. So in France, usually you get grades out of 20, 20 being excellent, 0 being a fail. But in the US, it's out of 100, and usually they will put a letter on it, so A to F basically. So it was kind of hard for me to adjust because I was, I did my part of my school in France until I was 17. So when I came to the US, it was kind of hard to adjust a little bit because you don't completely understand at first what's, oh, you got a 95, you got a 75, what does that mean? Because usually it's out of 20, so 75, I wasn't sure what it meant, I always ask, is that good, is that horrible, I wasn't sure. Now I'm got used to it because I did 5 years of schooling now in the United States, so now I'm used to it, but at first it was a little strange. So another big thing is school spirit. So I talked about it a little bit in other videos, but school spirit is so different between France and the US because basically in France you really don't have it much, and in the US it's huge, it's so big. For example, everyone will have t-shirts with their school logo on it, and many of them, they have a store in the university with where you can buy anything and everything with a school logo on it, which is so funny to me because I never seen that before. But in France, really, it's so small, it's so rare, really. We don't have really that school spirit. We don't buy clothes with our school logo on it. I don't know, it's not a big thing. It's coming a little more, my school just created a shirt where you can get one with the school logo on it. But usually, it's really rare. You can't really find any. It's not something people usually really want that much, I guess. But in the US, it's huge, and I think it's just part of the sport culture, kind of, that was created about it, because in the US, the sports culture is so big, and different universities will compete against each other. So there is that cool spirit because you are kind of proud of your country. You're proud of your school, and that kind of school spirit was created around sports, I feel like. But in the France, since we don't have sport at school, we don't have that spirit that was created around them. So it's really different. So another huge difference between universities in France and the United States are organizations and clubs. We don't have that much in France, but in the US it's so big. At my universities you could find anything and everything in every club you ever wanted was created. And if it wasn't, you could create it yourself. So there were cooking clubs, art clubs, psychology, sociology, nursing clubs, I don't know, all these kind of schooling clubs, and fun clubs where you could I don't know, dance clubs, martial art clubs, all that kind of stuff, or research club. I mean, there was anything, language clubs where you can learn different, like French, German, stuff like that. You could find anything, which I think is really great because it brings, you know, first it makes more school spirit again because people like, you know, go together around clubs that they love. Also, it creates more diversity on campus. It creates different points of view, which is I think is really good for university. And we don't really have them much in France, which I miss, but you know, I miss that from the US. But I think it's started to come in. It's now the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments, and I will see you next time. À la prochaine!